Hello students, in this session I am going to explain constructor overloading in Java. Constructor concept we have already discussed in the previous session. What is constructor? Constructor is a block of code that we can use to initialize the data members or variables of a class. See, whenever we create any object, then constructor will get automatically called. If we are not writing any constructor, then compiler will provide a default constructor inside a class. Getting these all points we have already discussed. There are multiple types of constructor. Like if we are not providing any argument to the constructor, then that is nothing but a no argument constructor. If we are just providing some arguments or parameters to the constructor, then that is called as a parameterized constructor. A single class can have multiple constructors in it. That is the concept of constructor overloading. Let us see one example. Here as test I am creating integer x and y. These are the data members of this class, or we can say that member variables. Constructor name is same as a class name. That's why we have to write like this test. Okay, and there is no any return type, not even void. Getting? Now see, I am not passing anything to this constructor. Here I just want to initialize value of x and y to 0. Actually it is not needed, because if we are not initializing the variables of a class, then if these are integers, then automatically default value will be set. Now suppose I am writing one more constructor here, see test. Now here I am passing one integer value, let integer p. Now see, whatever passed value p that I am going to assign to x and y, both, yes of course you can assign same value to x and y. Here I can write x equals to p and y equals to p. Fine. Now next constructor, I am going to write one more constructor in the same class like test, and here I am passing two values. Okay, see, first is let p and second one is q. Now the first argument, that is of type integer, that value I am going to assign to x, and second value I am going to assign to y. How to write? Simple, x is equals to p, y equals to q. Here you can use x and y identifiers for these formal arguments. No problem if you are using x and y, then here you have to use this keyword to access this x and y. Getting? Now how to write that? Here I am changing something like x and y. Then we have to write like this dot x is equal to x and this dot y is equals to y. Okay. Now see, here these three constructors are written inside this test class. First constructor is a no argument constructor. Second constructor is taking only one argument of type integer, and this third constructor is taking two arguments. Okay. See, this is a class and this is having three constructors in it. This is nothing but a constructor overloading concept. See, we know the method overloading concept. Method overloading means what? Multiple methods having same name but different arguments, then that is called as method overloading. In the same way, I have written three constructors, all are having same name. Of course, all constructors should have the same name, because constructor name is same as a class name. This one is a rule. And all are taking different number of arguments. The arguments must be differentiated according to number of arguments, or you can say data type also. But here this type of differentiation we can do in the constructors. Now in main, like public static void main string args. Now here I am going to create three objects of this class. To create object, simple way, test, let t1 equals to new test. Second object I am creating, see test, t2 equals to new test, and here I am passing one integer value, let 5, and test t3 equals to new test, and here I am passing 2, 3. Getting? Here again we can write some more code. Suppose this class is having one display method, then with the help of that display method we can display the value of x and y. See, of course here I am writing one more method inside this class. See, not constructor, method. Okay, here like void display. Now here in this display method I am just displaying the value of x and y. See, system.out.println SOPLN, here x equals to x, and similarly SOPLN y equals to y. Here just I have written this display method to display the values of x and y for t1, t2 as well as t3. t1 dot display, then t2 dot display, and t3 dot display. Okay, now what will happen in this example? See, this is the example of constructor overloading. Multiple constructors are there inside a class. All constructors are taking different arguments. Of course, you cannot write more than one constructors having same number of arguments. Okay, now here this constructor is a no argument constructor. This one is a constructor taking one integer argument, and this constructor is taking two integers. This display method is to display the value of x and y. Now see what will happen. First we have created object t1 equals to new test, but I am not passing anything here. Automatically the constructor which is taking 0 arguments, that will be called. Here see, here what is the perfect match? This one. This constructor is not taking any argument, that's why this constructor will be called. And for object t1, whatever x and y, for those variables value 0 will be set. In case of t2 we are passing one integer. See what is the match here? This one is the perfect match for this type of statement. Means here I am creating object t2, and while creation of object I am passing only one integer. First object will be created and then the constructor will be called. Okay, in this case one argument constructor will be called, this one, and for x and y of t2 value 5 will be assigned. In the third case, means whenever we create object t3, automatically this constructor will be called, and this dot x is equals to x. What is this? This dot x refers to the calling object. Now here t3 is the calling object, that's why t3's x means this dot x is equal to whatever past x. Here past x is 2. 2 value will be copied inside x and 3 value will be copied inside y, and that will be assigned to x and y of t3. And now finally we are calling display method for t1, t2, t3. We will get values like for t1 we will get value of x and y as 0. For t2 we will get value of x and y as a 5, and for t3 we will get value of x and y as 2 and 3. Getting? In this way we can write multiple constructors in a single class, and you know what is the meaning of this keyword here in this way. One more use of this keyword that I am going to explain, that is for constructor calling. See, we can call a constructor of a class from any other constructor, and there we can use again this keyword. Now how to use that I am going to explain. First see this example. This is the example for constructor overloading. Okay, now once here this we have used to refer the calling object, that is nothing but t3 in this case. Getting? Now the second use of this that I am going to explain with the help of again constructor overloading example. Let us see. Let this class test again I am defining. Here first I am writing one constructor, let test and no argument, and here I am just displaying one message SOPLN, let no arg constructor, in this way. Okay, that's it. Now one more constructor I am writing here, and but for that I am passing one integer value, not for initialization, just here try to understand the concept only. Okay, what is constructor overloading and what is the second use of this keyword, that I am going to explain here. Okay, see here I am just writing like this and parenthesis and semicolon. See here this refers to the current class constructor which is taking no argument. This is just a constructor call which is having no argument. Okay, automatically this constructor will be called, and then we can write like SOPLN one argument constructor, and here I am again displaying the value of a. Okay, that's it. One more constructor we can write like this, again test, and let I am passing two arguments here, integer x, integer y. Now here I just want to call this constructor. How to call? Simple, using this keyword. For calling same class constructor, we can use this keyword just like a method call. Okay, here we have to pass one argument. See here, whatever past text that I am passing to the constructor. Simple way, here automatically constructor which is taking only one integer argument, that will be called. Here SOPLN, two argument constructor called. Okay, and here we can display the value of y only, because already x value will be displayed because of this constructor. Here SOPLN. Getting? Now in main, public static void main string args, now we can create objects one by one. First I will create object with the help of this constructor, like test t1 equals to new test. See, t should be capital here, test, and here I am not passing anything automatically. Which constructor will be called? This constructor, because I have not passed here any argument while creation of this object. Onto the output screen you will get message no argument constructor. Second object I am creating like one argument. Here 5 I am passing, of course this constructor will be called. See what will happen whenever we create object like this, automatically constructor taking one integer will be called here, whatever I have written. Now here I am calling the constructor which is taking no argument. Automatically control will go here and will execute this block of code. Okay, compulsory remember this constructor calling should be the first statement only. You cannot write this statement at any other position. Getting? Now this constructor will be called. First you will get output like no argument constructor, then one argument constructor, and a equals to a. Like here you will get value 5 displayed. Okay, in this way you can call any constructor from any other constructor of a class. Getting? Here in the same way we can create one more object like new test, and here I can pass multiple integers like two integers. Automatically this constructor will be called. Indirectly this constructor will be called, and this will be called. First this constructor will be called, then this one. First this constructor will be executed like no argument constructor. This message will be displayed onto the output screen. After that one argument constructor, it will display the value like a colon equals to 2. Then you will get message 2 argument constructor, and you will get the value of y displayed onto the output screen. You can write any code here as per your need, but just try to understand how to call a constructor of a class from any other constructor of same class with the help of this. Getting? Here we have to close main and closing of a class. This is nothing but constructor overloading concept. In the next session we will see one more interesting concept in Java. Till that, take care. Bye bye. Thank you.